Okay, welcome to another Poppa Paints video. Today we're not painting with acrylic paints. Today we're painting with pastels. Pastels, like this. Soft pastels, chalk pastels. And I know there might be a debate about whether you're drawing or painting. I like to call it painting. You use the same kind of thinking behind painting, but you are drawing also. So let me turn the camera down to the paper, and then we'll begin. Okay. You see it now. What this is this is paper from this company, Strathmore Pastel. It's pastel paper, and this is 11 by 14 inches. And this particular one is not white. It might look white in the picture, but it's kind of a off-white, a yellowish. All right, I'm going to use my mouse because I have a reference photo on my computer screen I'm going to look at. Okay, so what I want to do is a simple landscape, and I'm going to try to just kind of work it. So let's just begin with the sky. This is some gray pastel. I'm just going to rub it in real lightly. I don't want a gray sky, but I wanted a little bit of gray in there to mix it up a bit. Here's a blue. This is a little bit too blue, but again, I'm going to mix it up. Mix it up a little bit with that gray. If I can find a light blue in there somewhere. Here's a light blue. We kind of mix that in there with it. And I think what I'm going to need is some white. See, it's very similar to paint in that way. So let me see if I have a white. Is this white? That looks like it might be white. Right? Can you see it? What's written? Oh no, that says yellow. I'm going to keep that outside. Hey, that looks like a white one. That looks like white. Okay, I'm going to put white down here toward the bottom of the sky. All right, now what I want to do is I want to smudge it. I'm going to use this. This is insulation, like from a pipe. So I'm just going to rub it in there. You can see that the paper has tooth. And sometimes you want the tooth to look so that the picture looks toothy, I guess is one way to say that. And other times you want to smooth it in. And so I'm going to use both techniques really today. So smooth it in for the sky. There we go. Now let's add some white to the bottom. And let's add some of that light blue to the top. And a little bit more white, I think. And then let's smudge it around again. Smudge it around. You can also use a blending stump or your finger if you want. The finger has a tendency to put oil onto the paper, so you don't always want to do that. There we go. It's kind of an uneven thing, which is what we want. We want it to be uneven. A little bit like that. I'm going to add a little purple if I can find some. That looks like oh, that's kind of a brown. Ooh, I found a purple. Let's add a little bit of purple to this sky. I think that'll make it nice. Let's smudge that in again. Yeah, I kind of like the way that looks. And a little bit more white down on the bottom. And smudge it in. There we go. All right, that's our sky. It doesn't look like much, does it? All right, now we want to take some, I guess some kind of a really muted green. Does that look like a muted green to you? I'm going to try that. It's a little bit greener than I thought it was going to be. Let me try this one. Oh, that's a dark green. That's okay, because I can always change it. I'll take that. And again, I'm going to do it lightly. And you can tell I'm putting mountains in the background. So just kind of making it up as I go along, even though I do have a reference photo that has some of these elements in it, but you don't have to follow the reference photo. You just want to make a nice picture. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use this one that I discovered. I thought was white, and it says it's yellow, so it must be a light yellow. Whoops. There we go. Got to mix that in there. I want to make it hazy, kind of like in the distance. I want these mountains to be far away. So make that distance. And we'll smudge that around a little bit. I don't want to smudge the green into the sky, though. I'm just going to keep it to itself. It's a little bit greener than I wanted it to be. What is this? This might be, what is this called? This is yellow ochre. It's hard to believe. That's the same as this one, isn't it? No. This one is actually more yellow. I think I want that one more. I think I'm going to add that to it. And then I'll add some more white to this sky to try to blend it a little bit. Yeah, make that background a little bit more like that. Just define that a little bit more. There we go. Let's see if I can find some dark green. Oh, here's a good green. That's a good green. That's a very yellowish green. Maybe that would work. Yeah, that seems to be working. Oh yeah, I like this one. Yeah, that's good. I still feel like that's too green. I don't want that to be so green looking. This looks like a very, very dark green. Not sure what this is. Okay, that's okay. Again, I'm going to smear it around. Yeah, I just thought it would be fun to use pastels today instead of acrylics. I don't get too many requests to show pastels. Probably because I don't do it that often. I used to use pastels all the time. I did a lot of portraits in pastels. Okay. Now you're starting to see it, right? It looks a little bit mountain. Not completely happy with it, but that's what it is. It is what it is, right? I think I could make some more. It's kind of a white haze coming in on everything. I just want to establish the background before I start with the foreground stuff. Yeah, that's okay. And it's also okay that I'm using the tooth now of the paper a little bit. Let me find another yellow. Here's a yellow, I think. That's a yellow I could use. These are Rembrandt pastels, by the way. That's the brand name. Just let me use that dark green again. You had some shadows up here that might not. Just because it's not completely a smooth mountain, obviously it's got some ridges in it. And okay. All right, now let's try, let me use that dark green I was just using. Maybe I can even use something darker than that, like a very burnt umber looking thing. And let's put a little bit of a line here, because like the mid-ground area. Now what I want to use is that, I think I'll use this yellow, or this, whatever this is. Okay, let's make it a little bit bigger. So we want kind of like the shadows of distant pine trees, I guess. Just a row of them. Okay. There's some, a little bit of that yellow right there just to see what it looks like. Mix that in with this green. Yeah. Let me get some of that olive green if I can find it. I had it earlier. I got a few. Got a few to pick from. Well, again, that's a little bit too green, don't you think? Just gonna have to go for some of this yellow green. I'm really looking for more of a yellow. Really trying to get an olive green on here. Okay, let's try to use some of this other green here. Just have to work it in. So all these trees in the background that have the sunlight hitting them from the left side. Yeah, let's smudge that around now a little bit. We want to define it a little bit more than it is. We'll get to that in a second. Okay. Yeah, let's try and use the okay. Still not as dark as I wanted on the bottom. So there we go. Now it's starting to have that look of distant trees. There we go. We got it now. We just add some of that, a little bit of that yellow. And I have a regular blending stump here. I can use that for up here. Blend that a little bit more than it is already. Okay. All right, now we're going to have a little bit of fun, just kind of grabbing this this yellowish greenish thing. Just going to create a whole lot of. Ooh, it's like crystallized or something on there. So what I want to do is just see if I can. Boy, it's not working. Here we go. Create some of this yellow, green. Okay. Sorry. Had to mess with the computer a second there. I just want to kind of get this all over the place here because I'm going to smudge it all in a second. Now, one thing you can do too is you can use a spray bottle, like with alcohol or something, and then it'll be very easy to do the smearing thing. But then it has a watercolor look to it, which is okay too. Here we go. Smudge it all in. All right, now what we want to do is take this very dark green. We want to add some shadows that are coming across the grass from who knows where, different places. You'll see in a second. I'll see in a second too, because I don't even know myself. But I'm going to get this whole area over here dark now. I'll get this dark up here. And all the way down here. Okay, now let's get that smudging thing again. Blend that into there. So this smudging tool almost becomes like a brush, like I'm painting. Now, some people say if you use the flat side of the paper, you don't need to worry about the tooth. But then you don't have the tooth. And sometimes the tooth works nicely. So you kind of have the advantage to do both if you just take the time and to smear it. Okay. Now, I want that to be darker than that. I want this yellow, I think. Oh, here's a good yellow. I don't have to break one. Just give some more areas of different shades of green instead of it all being one shade. Similar to what you would do with paint. There we go. All right, now I'm going to get something darker than what I had there, but I don't want to use black. It's kind of a blue. What is this? Oh, that is black, I'm pretty sure. Let me try that purple, see if that works. Sort of. It adds a little something, but it's not exactly what I'm looking for. But I'll put a little bit of that in there just to give it some character, I guess. It might work up in the mountains too. Oh, yeah, I like that. That yellow might work up there too. And that white. All right, let me see if I can find a color, a pastel that would be, oh, that's darker. All right, this is a burnt umber, I guess. Looks dark brown to me. That's good enough. All right, now, just kind of sparse it around like a little bit of brush, little weeds that are in the foreground. Okay, let's make some horizontal, some vertical lines now. In a second, let me keep smearing this around here. All right, let's go ahead and make a vertical line. I guess from about here. Here we go. Let's just fan this out. You can see what I'm doing there. Let's put some kind of mid ground vertical lines that go just a little bit higher than the mountain. Just a couple of them. There's a couple of trees here. Let's just see how that ends up looking. Okay. Okay, now let's take some of this light green. I really want the yellow, I think, not the green. So I want to add some like areas on the tree that are catching the sunlight from the left side. And we'll get some over here too. Okay, I want to get some of that bright yellow. Here it is. You can see I break them and then I use the side. It's more brush-like than using the tip. I guess the tip is more drawing, more like drawing, and the side is more like painting. All right, now let's take some other colors that aren't in the picture yet, just to offset a little bit, so we'll get a little bit of orange in here. Just kind of, because that's what happens in nature. All of a sudden you see a color that isn't the one color you're seeing the most of. And maybe a tiny bit of red. Maybe there's a few flowers in this foreground. And maybe a few white ones too. I get the white pastel. Use some foreground brush. Just using this yellow ochre. I guess that's what it is. It's not labeled anymore, but it's what it looks like to me. And let's give it a look, see if we want to fix anything. I'm not so sure about this right here. Maybe there could be another tree here. Yeah. There we go. So there's the pastel landscape that I wanted to show you. Oh, that white, that's coming from the blinds. They closed them. Whoa, let me do it the other way. Yeah, maybe now you can see it better. Yeah. So there you go. You don't need to have paint to paint. You can use pastels. I think this is a very, very rough, loose drawing. Of course, it's pastel. Let me put my name on it. It looks like a good pencil to draw with, or to write with. Poppa 23. Here we go. Okay. Well, there's our landscape for today. All right, that's all I have for today. Thank you very much. I'm talking to a microphone. And I'll see you next time.